So good to have you back with us. And I hope your week went well. All targets met, challenges faced head on, and that you're in good spirits, irrespective of the what they call external forces. For me, the week just ending brought along some hope, especially with the review or the repairs going on the Third Mainland Bridge.
Have they started?
Well, they'll start this weekend.
Okay.
At least today, tomorrow, they'll be at it, and I hope that will bring a lot of comfort.
Thank God that has been resolved, because I keep wondering why the back and forth, conversation and the challenge or tussle between the state government and the federal government in terms of infrastructure repairs and all of that.
That needs to be addressed.
Yeah, it has been, as far as the Third Mainland is concerned. Yeah, and we're glad.
Not only the Third Mainland, there's always been this bottleneck, as a result of. So we're happy to have that news. And we're also happy that it's likely that the queues are not as bad as.
No. I think they've thinned out.
The fuel queues.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday was something else, and we were like, hey, I hope we're not in for it again.
Yeah.
So thankfully, the filling stations are free now. You can go in there and buy your fuel at different prices.
Should we quote
some people use this small, issue that we had earlier in the week to jack up their pump price.
So we'll quote you that we can drive in and.
You drove in this morning and bought for John.
All
right, so Nigeria is a great country, and we are awesome people. Thrive we must, as we position ourselves to taking on whatsoever the universe throws at us. So if we hang on just for one more day, the sun definitely continues to shine on us. It's still your family conversation today with John and Helen, live on PlusTvAfrica.
Oh yes, and it's time to get to the real business of the day. Who is an image reputation consultant? What do they do? And is the traditional media still relevant and powerful? We'll meet our first guest. Her name is Joy Ngwolo, and she's a skilled and talented image reputation consultant with profound passion for expressing brands and establishing robust connects with their target audiences. She has a solid background encompassing intensive years in sales, journalism, content strategy, and guess what? Photography. Our guest has developed a deep understanding of the influential role effective communication plays in today's world. Let's welcome the beautiful Joy Ngwolo to the show. And I want to say thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. So good
beautiful
to be here.
And young. The younger ones are really tripping me these
Yes,
days,
we are, aren't we?
You're very welcome to our studios.
Thank you so
and
much.
I am curious, perhaps the very first area I'd like for you to clear is, who is a reputation consultant or image reputation consultant?
Okay, a reputation consultant is someone who manages brands, manages their reputation, just as the name implies. Because a lot of people have, so much content, a lot of information, but they don't know how to position themselves. They don't know how to put out that content without getting themselves into trouble. So my job is to ensure that they're able to put out this content without getting themselves into trouble and are able to position themselves in the global space.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's well put. And immediately it feels like you're talking to me. Because I need to.
Like you need her help.
I need her
right away.
I don't mind. I'm here to help you.
Great. So tell us, how has it been personally? How did you find yourself,
in this space?
What we ordinarily, traditionally would have called public relations?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
How did you find yourself in a more focused area of image reputation?
Okay, so I'm also a member of the Nigeria Institute of Public Relations. Yes, so you can I'm still into.
Some of us who are quacks are not.
So how I started as a journalist. I was telling stories of people, and at some point I realized that I had this passion to want to tell people stories, let people know how they started, let people know that it's normal to fail, but you need to get back up. and that all the great people you see started from somewhere.
Yeah.
So I noticed that as I told my stories, people felt encouraged, people felt motivated to do more. They're like, oh, if this person could have gone through this and they're still where they are, it means I can make
The
it
stories of falling and getting up again.
Yes, and again, I feel like we don't tell enough of our, Nigerian stories. Out there we're just hearing bad stories, about Nigeria. And I feel we need to tell stories of what people are doing, the impact people are making. There are a lot of people who are making a lot of impact, but nobody knows what they've done. Nobody knows them. So that's what I do. I look out for those people. I find a way to tell their stories and help them reach their target audiences.
Okay.
They say that if you don't tell your story, someone
Who
else
will tell? Tell it for you.
Yes.
And probably not do a good job at it.
Good job, yes.
All right. So in the world of digital media, do traditional media platforms, from radio to television, do they still hold relevant power?
Okay, so when people hear traditional media, what they think is old school. But I'll say that it's old but gold.
Wow.
Why? Because you can have all the social media followers, have all the engagements, but you need credibility. And that credibility can only come from traditional media.
Wow.
I'll tell you a story. I once met one of my clients at an event. And when we met, he told me about how he's a LinkedIn influencer. I checked him on LinkedIn. I saw that he had about 14,000 followers. So I said, okay, this is great. There was so much hype around him. So I decided to Google him just to, I expected to see him, on different media platforms. But alas, when I checked on Google, I could find nothing about him. The only thing I could see was this guy is on LinkedIn, he's on Instagram, he's on Facebook, no information, nothing. So I told him, we need to work on this. I feel like you're doing a whole lot of work, you're making a lot of impact, but nobody knows. You need to reach a wider audience. So I told him, okay, let's work on it. We're going to tell your story on various media platforms. And now when you Google him, you'll see his stories. You'll see his stories. And that gives him credibility because, if someone like an investor or an international partner wants to do business with him, once the person Googles him, this person sees that, oh, this guy is not just on LinkedIn. He has credible sources citing him. They want to trust him. They want to do business with him. So you can't take that away, the credibility.
Certainly, you can't take that. You've used the word, I tried to count, you've used the word credibility about 5 times.
Yes.
That means that credibility is at the core.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's even put credibility aside if possible. What are the other unique, like they say, unique selling propositions that traditional media may have?
Okay, so first, just like I said earlier, credibility comes first because you need people to trust you. Without trust, you can't sell, let me put it that way. You need people to trust you as a brand. And apart from that, you cannot reach all of your audience on social media alone. There are people who do not who do not go on Facebook, who do not go on Instagram, but they go on traditional media. They watch TV, they read newspapers, they listen to radio. Now I'm going to give you an instance and I'm going to tell you why this is so important. There's this lady I know that runs an NGO. And one day she had an event, an outreach, and then she invited, journalists to cover her story. Now she thought she was just, doing what everyone else does, just putting the story out there. But a donor saw it, saw the story, saw the impact she had made, saw the numbers, and that was how the person began to sponsor her mission. Just like that. So I feel like traditional media is underrated. Some people don't really understand the impact. They feel like, oh, we have social media going already. We don't need traditional media anymore. But there's so much. You can reach a lot of people, beyond just the younger generation. You can meet older people, decision makers. You can reach them through traditional media platforms.
Okay, and they say old habits die hard, right? So how do you suggest that traditional media can best position itself for increased relevance in today's digital world? Because the practitioners in the traditional media, are beginning to be affected by the general perception that is not totally right. How can they still, make impact?
Okay, first of all, I'd like to give kudos to traditional media. I think traditional media is doing great. Why do I say so? Because they were quite fast to switch to digital. Before you could only get newspapers on hard copy, but now you find newspapers online. And not only that, you find them on social media. And these days you see them even promoting, their content, running sponsored ads. So I feel that traditional media is doing better.
So for them, advantage is double-edged sword.
Yes.
They're getting
so
all
it's
this.
double-edged sword, but we can still do better.
Okay.
Because like you said, the people in traditional media, they're getting concerned about the reputation. So I feel for their personal brands, they need to work on their personal brands. Okay. For instance, you are Helen, you are John. We need to see you more on social media.
I'd love to see you.
Yes, we want to see you more on social media. I mean, you're doing amazing work here.
Thank you.
Yes, you're doing amazing work here. We'd like to see you, videos of you doing this on social media. You can be on TikTok as well. Let's see you on TikTok. Let's know on TikTok that there's a John,
we'll
there's
talk
a
about
Helen.
that.
Hi, Jess.
We'll talk about that.
Yes, so
No, I mean, yes, the
Yes.
point you made is valid.
Yeah.
And, some of us have made attempts to do
Okay.
that. We may just probably not be doing it the right way. And,
Because you've not gotten the right help.
appealing to the right people. But I need to clear something, so that it doesn't look like it's Team A against Team B. Is it that one is better than the other, like traditional media and social media, or do they each have their separate, unique benefits?
yes, I would say the advantages, of using each platform. But you need both of them, to
At some
achieve your
point,
goals.
okay.
Yes, they complement each other. Because while you're doing great on social media, you also need to be doing great on traditional media platforms as well. There are certain, programs on TV that you feature in, and then when people see you there, they know that, oh, you're an authority. For instance, I'm here now. And by the time I post this on social media, someone will be like, you were there. Oh,
Added
I
advantage.
mean, yes, it's an added advantage. So two of them work together.
So I can get on your. This is fame for me. I can get on your handles now, and the whole world will see me.
Yes, they will see you.
Whoa.
See me.
Okay.
Whoa.
Okay. All right. So oftentimes we hear the question: is
Okay.
traditional media not free? And so, how do you tackle that question with clients and other persons?
It's traditional media.
Not free. It's not supposed to be free. A lot of people, when you go marketing, here, for example,
Okay.
they tell you, or NTA, for example, hey, government, you people are funded, blah, blah, blah. It should be free. How do you tackle that, with clients and all?
Okay, so are you saying putting out adverts or?
Yeah. Should it be free? Should traditional media be free?
When there are two ways you can go about it. It's either you're advertising or you're being on programs like this, coming on shows like this.
Yeah.
So if you're advertising, you're definitely going to pay.
Okay.
Why? Because yes, this is traditional media, but it needs money to run. Somebody has to pay the bills, somebody has to pay for the joint, somebody has to pay for the maintenance, the lights, everything. They're not coming in for free. So you need to understand that while, you're getting the news for free, getting the maybe shows for free, but don't expect everything to be free. Because if they begin to run everything for free, it means you want them to die. How are they going to survive?
Nothing free in free time.
Yes. So for adverts, I believe that adverts should be paid.
Yeah, it just makes logical sense. Actually.
Yes. But then if you feel like you want to get on shows and stuff, or you want to be featured on newspaper platforms, you need to have a compelling story, first of all.
Yeah.
There's some people that don't have any story to tell, but they're like, I want to be on TV, I want to be... What impact are you making, and what impact do you want to make? When you decided on your purpose and you believe you have a story, you can then pitch. You can say, oh, John, I have done so, XYZ, and I'd like to be on your show. If John sees it and says, oh, this is going to be impactful to my audience, why not? We'll bring you up.
True.
But don't expect everything
To be free.
Yes, because bills must be paid.
Yeah. Yeah, I quite agree with you.
Yes.
And then again, You see, there's traditional on one side and there's social media on the other side. I'm still looking for a way that we can blend, work together. Okay, for instance, I'm at home. I've sent my daughter to school. She comes back and I learn from her. Okay? What do you think traditional media can learn from what social media is doing now to improve their lot?
Okay. Like I said, we can work together.
Yeah.
Both can complement each other. Now, what we're doing, we're here on traditional media, right? What we could do again is to get someone to record this conversation live.
Yes.
We have Instagram Live, you have Facebook Live, you have YouTube Live.
Yes.
So in that way, we are here on traditional media platform, but we are also running on social media platform.
Okay.
So
Thank
you
God
see
we're doing that.
Yes, and then you're reaching more audience.
Yeah.
You are reaching the audience that is not present on social media. You're reaching the audience that is also present on social media, and it helps you to grow faster. Basically, yeah.
It beats me, and I have mixed feelings. You're young, and for young people, it's all social media. And here you are, promoting traditional media. And so I'm beginning to think, okay, so there's some level of maturity even in being youthful. Okay,
Yeah.
because for traditional media, like you said at the beginning, most of the government agencies and parastatals are the normal clientele, But here you are asking younger people and owners of businesses who are young to tap into the advantages that are enormous, even in traditional media. My final question to you this morning is: over the years, from your experience, while you've been at this, what would you say, for example, if John set out, to blow, so to speak, from traditional media to social?
Who says I'm
What would be the
traditional media?
5 key things that he can focus on? John is my guinea pig right now.
Okay, so are you saying if he wants to transition?
Yes.
From
No, he wants to use both. So the traditional media.
so he wants to use both
Yes,
traditional
to blow.
media. To blow on
Yes,
social
to
media.
blow.
Okay, first of all, he needs to have a social media presence. He needs to have social media accounts on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Facebook. I don't know. We don't mind seeing you on TikTok.
I'm actually on all of those platforms.
Yes, but do you post? Do you engage
yes.
actively?
Oh, yes, I do.
Actively,
Yes,
then
I
you
do.
must be very different.
Yes, I am.
So yes. So that's the first step, and then you need to decide what your message is. Thankfully, John has a message.
Yes.
I mean, this is what he's doing. He's telling stories of people, telling stories about families. So you can post content there as well. You could decide, okay, I want to host maybe Instagram webinars.
Okay.
Yeah, as well. You decide to host webinars. We have Wikipedia as well. Wikipedia is not a social media platform, but it's an authoritative platform that positions you in the global space.
Okay.
And now the beautiful thing about it is that everybody wants to be on Wikipedia, but guess what? They still need traditional media to validate them.
To
'Cause
validate.
you want to be on Wikipedia, but you still need to cite sources of news publications where your name has been mentioned.
Excellent.
Yes, so I'm just trying to create the relationship between.
Okay. A final word. We're running out of time.
Okay, so final words. Let's not push traditional media out of the box. But I believe we can combine both traditional media and social media to reach a wider audience. Yeah.
Meaning you have seen it work.
Yes,
you put it
I've
to
tried
work.
it. I've seen it work. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, so well articulated and straight to the point. I wish you had more time
Yes,
with you.
I
and,
wish.
We'll have to get you back again. If you
Okay.
don't mind.
Yeah, I don't mind.
You've talked so much about the power and the relevance of traditional media. Maybe next time we'll concentrate a little more on social media.
Okay.
And I want to thank you so much, Joy, for being with us.
Thank
And John is
you.
going to work with you and work with us to get us You know,
I'll be happy.
further in this
I'll be happy to.
business. All right. Looks like the power tussle between the old and the new. You know, we're better informed in that regard, and all thanks to you. You know, at this point, we believe there will be many more doors open for you and us to interact, you know, on this subject matter. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
That was quite refreshing. So after the break, we shall move into the new media, to be specific, networking and innovative technology. Tunde Rotimi, the CEO and founder, Rope Africa, will be joining us. Please don't go.